My stepdad's a liar, and I'm done pretending he's not. At 16, I thought I knew betrayal until I found the letter that cracked my world open. It was a Tuesday, the kind of gray, sticky afternoon where the air feels like it's judging you. I was rummaging through the attic, dodging cobwebs and old Christmas decorations, looking for my mom's high school yearbook to settle a bet with my best friend Jazz. That's when I saw Ida's shoebox tucked behind a busted lamp, labeled Greg's stuff in my stepdad's blocky handwriting. Greg, the guy who'd been playing perfect dad since I was 9, always with his goofy grin and family-first speeches. I shouldn't have opened it, but I did. Inside was a mess of papers. Receipts, a parking ticket, and a letter yellowed and creased, addressed to Greg in a shaky feminine scrawl. My hands trembled as I unfolded it. "Dear Greg," it started. "I'm your daughter, Lila. I'm 12. Mom says you left us when I was a baby. Why?" My stomach dropped like I'd missed a step on a staircase. Daughter? Greg had a daughter? I read on, each word a punch. Lila begged to meet him, to know why he'd vanished. The letter was dated 10 years ago. She'd be 22 now. My age almost. And Greg, the man who tucked me in and cheered at my soccer games, had abandoned her. I sat there, the attic's musty air choking me, the letter burning in my hands. Greg wasn't just my stepdad, was the guy who taught me to ride a bike, who burned pancakes every Sunday and laughed it off. He was my rock when Mom's cancer came back last year. How could he hide this? How could he leave a kid his kid and act like she didn't exist? I wanted to scream, to throw the letter in his face, but I needed answers first. That night, I watched him at dinner, his usual chatter about work and the Mets grating on me. Mom was tired, her chemo leaving her pale, but she smiled at his dumb jokes. I couldn't eat. Every bite tasted like betrayal. "You okay, Minnie?" Greg asked, using the nickname he'd given me when I was obsessed with Mini Coopers at 10. I nodded, my throat tight, and excused myself. In my room, I Googled Lila Thompson, with the city mentioned in the letter Chicago. It took hours, but I found her. Lila Marie Thompson, a barista with a sparse Instagram. Artsy photos, a shy smile, and eyes that looked eerily like Greg's. She was real. And she was alone. The next day I skipped school. I told Mom I was studying at Jazz's, but I took a bus to the city library, where I could dig deeper without Greg's Wi-Fi tracking my searches. Public records showed Lila's mom, Sarah, had died 2 years ago car accident. Lila had been 18, left to fend for herself. No mention of Greg anywhere. My chest ached imagining her, a kid like me, grieving alone while my stepdad played happy family here. I found an address linked to her name, a rundown apartment complex in Chicago. I didn't know what I'd do with it, but I wrote it down, my hands shaking with rage and something else, grief for a sister I never knew. Confronting Greg wasn't easy. I waited until Mom was at her support group. He was in the garage, tinkering with his old motorcycle, humming some classic rock tune. The letter was in my pocket, a ticking bomb. "Greg," I said, my voice sharp enough to cut through his humming. He looked up, startled, his wrench clattering to the floor. "Who's Lila?" His face went white like I'd sucked the air out of him. "Minnie, where'd you hear that name?" he stammered, but I was done with games. I slapped the letter on his workbench. He stared at it, his hands trembling, and for the first time, I saw him not as my stepdad but as a coward. "She's your daughter," I said. "You left her. You lied to us." Greg sank onto a stool, his face crumpling. "It's not that simple," he started, but I cut him off. "She was a kid, Greg. She needed you and you ghosted her." He tried to explain how he was young, broke, scared when Sarah got pregnant, how he thought leaving was better for them. "I sent money when I could," he said, his voice breaking. "I tried to make it right. But I wasn't buying it. Sending cash wasn't fatherhood. It wasn't love." I told him about Sarah's death, about Lila's life now. His eyes welled up, but I didn't care. "You don't get to cry," I snapped. "You abandoned her. You don't get to feel bad now." I shoved the address at him. "Go find her. Fix this. Or I tell Mom everything." It was a low blow, threatening to drag Mom into this when she was fighting for her life, but I was desperate. Lila deserved better. And honestly, so did I. Greg didn't argue. He just nodded, his shoulders slumped like a defeated man. The next day, he booked a flight to Chicago. I didn't tell Mom. Colton add more weight to her fragile world. But I felt like a traitor, keeping secrets from her while exposing Greg's. The house felt empty without him. His absence a loud reminder of the lie we'd all been living. Weeks passed. Mom thought Greg was on a work trip and I let her believe it. I checked Lila's Instagram obsessively, looking for clues. Then one day a new post. A blurry photo of a coffee shop, 2 mugs on a table and a caption, "First steps." My heart raced. Was that Greg? Had he found her? I wanted to message her to spill everything, but I stopped myself. This wasn't my story to tell anymore. When Greg came back, he was different, quieter, heavier. He sat me down, his eyes red. "I met her," he said. "Lila. She's amazing, Minnie. But she's angry. She has every right to be." He told me how they talked for hours, how she cried about her mom, how he begged for forgiveness. She didn't give it, not yet, but she agreed to keep talking. He was renting an apartment in Chicago, splitting time between there and home. "I'm trying," he said. "I owe her that." I wanted to hate him, but I couldn't. Not fully. He was flawed, human, and trying to make amends. But it wasn't enough, not for Lila, not for me. I thought about Mom, about how she'd react if she knew. I thought about Lila, carrying the weight of abandonment. And I thought about myself, caught in the middle, trying to hold on to a family that felt like it was unraveling. The truth didn't set us free. It broke us open, exposing wounds we didn't know we had. Greg's back now, but things aren't the same. I see the cracks in his smile, the guilt in his eyes. I see Mom's strength, even as she fights her illness, unaware of the storm I've unleashed. And I think of Lila out there, maybe healing, maybe not. I don't know if I did the right thing, pushing Greg to face his past. But I know I couldn't stay silent. What would you do if you found out someone you loved was hiding a secret like this? Is it justice to force the truth? Or does it just create more pain? Share your thoughts, because I'm still trying to figure out what's right.